10 down, just 1 to go. The regular season wrapping up in Council Bluffs with a pair of games. Game 1, a Halloween matchup with the team largely responsible for last year's trip to Mississippi. After a decisive win over Hutchinson last year, it was an inspired Fort Scott team that put a scare into the Reivers the week after. Could the Greyhounds do it again, or would the Reivers be ready for them to jump out from behind the door? We'll find out next on the Iowa Western Football Coaches Show. The highlights and more coming up on the Coach Stroh Show. It's only on CBTV 17. Home cooking on Halloween. The Reaver football team all done with road trips for the regular season, and they get the chance to set up camp in Council Bluffs at Titan Stadium. Hello there, and welcome to another edition of the Coach Stroh Show. I'm Jake Ryan, along with the head coach of the Iowa Western Reivers. Well, you get Fort Scott, a team that kind of ruined the postseason last year without that 20-5 win that you had. The voters might have thought otherwise, but eventually East Mississippi gets that #1 nod, and you take the long trip down to Biloxi. You know, you look back at that game, you were coming off such a high from a battle of 8-0s with Hutch late in the season, #2 against #4. This year, you beat Hutch on their home field, and that has to be a pretty good feel. What did the sophomores and what did the coaching staff tell the new guys about coming into Fort Scott?
Well, I think the guys who played last year, they remember that game, that it wasn't no easy one at their place. And I think the big thing that I addressed to them is, you know, we sat and talked Sunday on, who beat Butler, who beat all these teams, and that we want to do everything in our power not to be the ones being talked about at everybody's team meetings the following Sunday. And I felt we had a good week of prep going in, and these guys are focused. It's just really one game at a time, and to get the 8th straight win against there's some talent on Fort Scott. Yes, their record wasn't very good, but there's some good players you're going to see play major college football, next year.
Let's go to the highlights from Fort Scott and Iowa Western from Titan Stadium in Council Bluffs. Reivers win the toss and elect to receive. Zach Martin going to work right away, tipped off the hands of Turner Gaines. That's Gabe Lloyd right there on the very first play from scrimmage. And Fort Scott has an early 7-0 lead after the extra point. Coach, what are you thinking on the sideline there?
Well, not quite the way you want to start, but goes through hands, and that's the way it goes. You don't want to give a team like this life, but we did, and make it a little bit more difficult for ourselves.
Speaking of life, Taj Williams showing a little bit of it on Saturday. He gets the first catch of his big day that he had, and we'll see more of that as this game continues. Down the field, and I know Taj thought he had that one in his hand. He was about to take a hit, though, if he had hauled that one in.
Yeah, and I think we started a little bit slow offensively, but defensively coming out playing extremely well, and you hate to put points on the board for them because of the way our defense is playing. But
defense swarming to the football again. Devin Taylor, you saw him. He's the returning sophomore. This one right down the middle of the field. Talk about finding a spot in the middle of 5 defenders. Marshall Clark calls that pass in from Zach Martin.
Well, I'll tell you what, they did a little bit different than what we've seen. It's kind of been the story of the season. Everybody's doing something, making it difficult on us, so we got to make some adjustments. That's probably one thing that our guys hopefully are going to continue to get better at, is making those adjustments when teams show us different look.
Knock on the door of the red zone. Turner Gaines can't haul that pass in as it gets popped on the incompletion. But the Reivers turn it over on downs, and guess what? The dark side back to work, dropping people in the backfield. And how about that interception? Nice work there from Derez Diggs.
I had a good week game last week, coming back this week having another good one, and you got to turn over. We got to take advantage of these opportunities now.
Out of bounds there to Taj, and then Zach. A little bit too much pressure coming on him. He was sacked a couple times in the day, and that one a big loss.
Yeah, well, it took us out of range, and we couldn't take advantage of the turnover.
Michael Glass, who was their quarterback, couldn't get anything going, and he scrambles and then is sacked, and the Reivers will get it back. John Nzambo. Reivers have really struggled to get the running game going this season. Obviously, your depth is depleted at the running back spot, but I thought that Nzambo might have been able to get going a little bit sooner. You see Clark just a little bit turned around on that play.
Yeah. It has been. I mean, what people don't usually offensive lines play together, and we're our sixth, seventh, and eighth guys playing today, in this game. But so it takes a little bit of time, but we're doing what we can, and here we have an opportunity to get on the board, and we miss it, but
5-yard penalty before that, Coach, on the false start, and that kind of set you back. That would have been a good field goal had you been 5 yards forward. Yeah,
for sure. I thought we were a little bit flat offensively, to start it, but thankfully that our D wasn't flat because they're playing pretty good.
Absolutely not. Rico Gafford making the shoestring tackle. Merrick Jackson for the second straight week, all over the place. And then the Reivers start moving up the field. I thought Marshall was going to come up a little bit more dinged up on that play. Yeah. Nice catch, and he hangs on despite being undercut.
Yeah. I mean, it was just one of those deals. Again, we have to find someone to make a play, and they're bringing some pressure on us, and we couldn't really get it clicking offensively.
Here's a fumble. Again, Glass seemed out of sorts all day, turning the wrong way on plays. It almost looked like they were instituting a new offense, and you guys get lucky there, a fumble, recover the football, and then how about second quarter action? Now's the time to turn it on. Turner Gaines, nice catch and run there.
Well, he did. And they were giving us that middle of the field, and you see them pressure, and they caught us. Give them some credit. They dropped that big defensive lineman right in.
Yeah,
perfect call.
Johnson.
Perfect call for them. We'd like to be able to see it, but they got a big play.
This play going to be broken up by Reivers Diggs. Nice solid hit, jarring the ball loose from Moncavian Tarver, and then another Devin Taylor carry goes nowhere.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we kept him in check. For I don't know how many yards he averaged a game, but we kept him in check. We needed someone to make a play, and
how about that catch? My goodness.
Yeah, that was huge. That's the spark you need sometimes when you're struggling and really kind of flat, and we got it there.
Taj Williams goes up and gets it from Zach Martin. That one, a big one, 58 yards for the touchdown. And then, more of Fort Scott and more of the same. This time, Glass does turn the wrong way. John Swisher overwhelms him along with Mark Hall, and then it's back to work, and it's this time Tyus Mason out of the backfield.
Yeah, we got a little piece, and then it goes back to Taj and getting another score. So it was good to see him get down the field. That play before, they actually changed to Taj and Zach for that big touchdown.
Well, he cut on the inside there. Great toss there. And again, Devin Taylor with a carry, 2 yards on that one. Then another Michael Glass sack. The Reivers dark side coming after him. Zach Martin finally feeling comfortable, and he'll go back to work. How about that play from Nick Easley, nearly hitting the turf, pops up, gets inside the red zone.
Well, it's huge. Just extra effort to stay on his feet, and an unbelievable catch there. So again, you need a big play, and we got it easily there, and then you get a touchdown. Now things are kind of going in our favor.
Yeah, by that time it was 20-7, and Fort Scott was reeling. Reivers get another turnover, and then it's a Bobby Patterson field goal as time expires. Notched that one, and for as short as he was on the attempt before, he blasted that one right through the uprights. You go in 23-7 at the half. A quick turnaround. First 9 plays, not much. First 9 drives, not much, and then 4 drives into the half. You guys get some things going. We'll take a look at the second half highlights as an offense explosion has the Reivers feeling good headed in to halftime. We'll see if they can deliver that knockout blow against Fort Scott in the second half. That's all when we come back. This is the Coach Stroh Show on CBTV 17.
Schedule your campus visit today. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
From the studios of CBTV 17 in Council Bluffs, Jake Ryan along with Iowa Western head football coach Scott Strohmeier. Coach, 9 drives to start the game, resulting in a pair of turnovers, a turn of rundowns, a missed field goal, and 5 beautiful Bobby Patterson punts. I know that you believe that punters are people too, but you don't want to see that leg of Bobby Patterson come out and be punting the ball away. Talk about what those first 9 drives, what you're feeling down 7-0 against a Fort Scott team that had to be believing after they got that first score of the game.
Yeah, well, that's not the way you want to start any game, really. But when your defense is playing as well as they are, we just really were waiting to get something ticking, and it was someone to make a play, and it took us the 10th drive then, I guess, or the 10th series for Taj to make that one catch down the sidelines and kind of just get us going. But I don't know. I felt we were flat offensively. I don't know why. That's on us. We got to get them ready to go, to come out ready, especially in a game like that where we should have done a lot more. And can't waste possessions.
Were you expecting to see maybe a defensive score to get you going or a special teams score to get you going in that first half?
Well, I mean, after the way we started with our first 9 possessions, I was hoping that we'd get a defensive score to maybe spark us or do something. But, and that's in games like that. You give a team like that life, and they're really, really good when you give them life. And if you put them away, score 2. If we score 2 right away, we may put them away, and it may be ugly.
Well, let's take a look at the second half highlights. The Reivers get 4 scores to cap off the half. They come out, and actually Fort Scott had the ball first, but we will see the Reiver highlights as we begin. It's John Nazambo that will rip off a quick run, and it looked like the holes opening up early in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it was good for the first one here to kind of get something. We talked about running the football and doing some different things that we have to, and so it was good to get that first one in.
Defensive pressure. 8 of 11 of their starters actually started in last year's game. 9 overall return, and right there, Zach Martin is feeling the pressure. Very stout defensive line for Fort Scott.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're as good as anybody we faced. I mean, one of those guys is going to be playing at Florida State, one Tennessee, and the other one's got a whole bunch of options up front. So they're talented.
Abe Freeman with the sack. They'll go to punt, and as my partner in the booth says, he frog splashed him. Dominic Wilson getting in, going after it, and just jumping up and covering the ball as he comes down in the end zone. A touchdown for the Reivers on special teams.
I'll tell you what, that's a good way to start it, to get that going in the second half. And, Dom's done that numerous times before. It's good to see him.
Another big run by Nazambo, tripped up by his ankle right at midfield, and you end up sputtering out. Bobby Patterson going to have to punt this one away again. Pretty good looking kick, though.
Yeah, he's done a good job. That one bounces back to them, but
nearly got it, though, on the muscle.
It was close.
So then it's back to work for Devin Taylor and Michael Glass and company, and Devin Taylor frustrated all day, just could not get anything going. And Michael Glass, well, look out, because here comes number 22 yet again. He barely gets a paw on him and knocks him down as he tries to escape.
I was surprised. I mean, I'll give them credit. They stuck with the run game, stuck with it, and they didn't get anything. But
Glass out of pressure, throwing down, overshoots his receiver. And looky there, it's Stone Kane from the 35-yard line. He's pointing out blockers. Maybe you should put him on offense as he sends Derez Diggs to create some interference. He scores the touchdown. Reivers get a special teams touchdown and the pick 6 on the defensive side. Coach Blackburn and Coach Cashmore had to be feeling pretty good.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like I said, defensively you're playing that way. They deserve some of that, get some of those touchdowns as well, and it's good to see Stone getting that one.
Speaking of getting after him, Michael Glass again. This time he actually completes it down the sideline. He was running for his life all day long. Had to be fun, even as an offensive coach, to see your defensive guys getting after him.
I'll tell you what. I mean, we were in the backfield all day, and if they didn't get it out quick, we were probably going to get a sack. Like I said, those 4 guys are playing pretty well. Not just 4 guys, but our defense front 4, I guess.
There's one from Merrick Jackson. We'll fast forward literally into later in the game, and it's Zach Martin that will try to get out of pressure. He drops the football, and it's Fort Scott that covers that up. Zach had a good day overall, but he had 3 plays that he would really like back.
Yeah, I mean, that one, if he just buys himself a little bit of time, he has a touchdown probably pass, but this huge here.
Yeah, speaking of a touchdown, how about Rico Gafford scooping and scoring? He goes 70 yards to the house as the Reivers cap off their scoring in the ball game. Dante Filzami could not hang on to it that time. And then, well, it took a backup quarterback and a whole bunch of guys that had not touched the ball all year offensively to get it going. Chris Rivers, their 3rd-string tailback, he had touched the ball, but I believe Pluck was the quarterback's name. And, Trevor Cluck, not Pluck, but Trevor Cluck gets them going offensively. They will cap the game off scoring-wise with a touchdown drive here. And they were just digging for something positive on the day.
And we were playing a bunch of guys, and sometimes, when you're moving guys in and out there, maybe didn't get a whole bunch of reps throughout the week, and that's really where they ended up getting that one. But, again, it's good to see some of our guys get some game experience out there and to play. Good teaching tools for sure.
Cluck comes through with the touchdown and the final score, 43-14. The Reivers winning it and heading through the handshake line. Now 8-2, 8 in a row, Coach. When you first got it going in that game, it didn't seem like it was like, uh-oh, what's going on here? But I tell you what, when you guys got it going, you got it going quick. 23 points in the second quarter, and then defense and special teams takes care of the second half.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It was really good the way we came out in the second half. Maybe not so much offensively again, but when your defense is score and really, to be honest with you just want to try not to put them in a bad position the way they're playing. And that good defense makes good offense. We probably tone it back just a little bit as well when you're not you don't want to put them in a bad position. But I'll tell you what, they're playing well, and offensively we just did enough, and it's good to get a special team score for sure.
Look at those receiving numbers from Taj Williams. First year, you get Matt Waters. He piles up the numbers in. Andrew Stone comes in. Andrew's setting a pretty good pace. And then Dion Long comes on. You're like, man, are we going to get anybody like Dion Long in? Taj Williams has stepped in. He has the all-time receptions in a career mark now with 119. He's 33 yards behind Matt Waters for second place on all-time yards. And then, well, he's several touchdowns behind Dion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody's ever going to catch that mark. But
talk
about the season that Taj has had. Obviously, defenses have tried to lock him up by double teaming him and holding him and sticking their hand in his pads when he's trying to. They've done everything and gotten away with a lot of it. But Taj had a big day, almost 150 yards receiving, a pair of touchdowns that got you going, and he really got you going in a big way on Saturday.
Well, he did, and it's good to see that because teams have been kind of rolling to him and trying to take him out of it. And these guys thought they could play a little bit more man coverage or take care of him with one, and they found out that that's not the way to approach to take it, and and then we've been beat up, and a lot of things offensively, our game plans have changed, which limited some of it. But he's got a lot of talent, as you can see.
Absolutely, a couple of big days defensively from Dom Wilson. Obviously, he blocks a punt, but he has been flying all over the football. And Stone Kane with the pick six, it's his second consecutive game with an INT. He made some big hits as well.
I'll tell you what, we talk about kids getting their opportunity and wait for their opportunity, and when he got his opportunity this year, he's made the most of it and has really put himself in a position to move on from here, but is playing at a high level, and with so much confidence right now. It's good to see.
Both those guys were candidates for our player of the game, but it was Taj that grabbed that Marco Court player of the game honors. His 2 touchdown catches really kind of flipped the game in a hurry.
In back-to-back possessions, and I think the first one was the big play. The next one, I think he caught 3 passes that, they were to him, boom, 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 and to score the next one. So anytime you can get someone into the game like that as well, I think it sparks everybody.
Absolutely. All right, time for a quick break. When we come back, the 2015 Dark Side, they're hitting their stride. We'll bring one of them into the light. Coming up next, this is the Coach Stroh Show on CBTV 17.
In today's world, getting things done means being connected. The challenge, though, is staying connected, no matter where you are. In Council Bluffs, we had a nutty idea. What if we tried to connect everyone in our community for free? How great would it be if we could always communicate, stay creative, and enjoy the things that make us unique together? Just think of all the opportunities to learn new things, find new friends, and do it all in the blink of an eye. Introducing Blink, Bluffs Community Wi-Fi. It's free, and it's coming to your neighborhood soon. Learn more at blinkwifi.org.
Okay, it's decision time. I want flexibility, more doing, hands-on experience, and working sooner. I gotta make a choice. I want to get started now. Find your path at iwcc.edu and get hands-on real-world experience. Start now at Iowa Western.
The Coach Stroh Show continues here on CBTV 17. I'm IWTV student Dylan Lindberg along with Reivers strong safety Stone Kane. Stone, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, rough start to the game early on against Fort Scott, but you guys eventually got it going. How are you guys able to kick it in gear eventually and start playing Reivers football?
I think it started on defense, definitely. We stopped them early on and started gaining confidence like that. So then the offense got it rolling, and it was pretty easy from there.
It looked like the defense had to keep stepping up, in which they did, to hold Fort Scott to no touchdowns in the first half until the second half. Because the first play of the game, a pick six, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Interesting way to start the game. But how do you think the defense overall did in the game against Fort Scott?
Pretty well. We were pretty confident. I think going into the third quarter, they only had 1 yard rushing or negative 1 yard rushing or something like that. So, we were pretty confident going in, and it translated onto the field. So.
Do you feel like you need to be a more vocal leader on the defense, or do you feel like you fit pretty well in the defense for being a leader?
I'm pretty vocal on the field, and I do our pregame chants, stuff like that. So, I've definitely tried to be a leader this year, and I think my teammates kind of look up to me. So,
take me through that pick six that you had in the second half. That was a pretty big play in the game. Really hyped up the offense too, as the offense kept going, scoring a lot of points. How are you able to get that pick six?
It starts with our front seven. They've been great all year. The quarterback was under pressure. He just kind of threw it up and came right to me, and then I just had to follow some blocks into the end zone.
The upcoming game against Iowa Central, what are you guys looking in to prepare for the Tritons this Saturday?
Well, obviously I'm on defense, so we're watching a lot of their offense, and we feel pretty confident right now just looking at the film, and I think the offense is going to have a big week. They're going to get it going. So,
and especially since it's a rivalry game, you guys really want to beat Iowa Central, correct?
Right, rivalry game. It's at home. It's going to be a big crowd. It'll be fun.
Battle for the Kinney Cup, so that's going to be big. You guys got it last year. How's that feeling last year going into their place and defeating them and getting the trophy, bringing it back here to Council Bluffs?
That definitely felt good. It's the end of the year, and finished off the regular season undefeated. We knew we were going to the national title, so it's definitely exciting last year. This year, the goal is just to get that 9th straight win. So,
what's going to be the key to the game Saturday? Is it going to be the offense that needs to step up to score, or is it going to be the defense that needs to carry the way against Iowa Central?
Either way, it seems like if the defense isn't doing well, the offense picks it up, and vice versa. So, if the defense needs to pick it up again this week, I know we'll do that. And like I said, I think the offense is going to have a big week this week. So.
How many interceptions are you looking for to get against Iowa Central this week? At least 2 or 3? Because you've been on a pretty good roll these last couple games.
Yeah, that'd be great. The goal going into every game is just to get the first one. After that, as many as I can get. So.
Well, thanks for joining us here today, Stone. Appreciate it. We're looking forward to see you get in the backfield of Iowa Central this weekend. Good luck against the Tritons on Saturday.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, Jake Ryan and the coach are back to talk about the Reivers and the battle for the Kinney Cup on Saturday. We'll be right back.
Your future is here at CBTV. You're in the game. You take the shots. It's your story. The Media Studies program at Iowa Western. Real reality TV starring you. For more information, go to iwcc.edu.
We are back from the studios of CBTV 17. Jake Ryan along with head coach Scott Strohmeier. One last regular season game, and it is a big one on the schedule. The Reivers can clinch their 6th straight Region 11 title and extend their regular season home winning streak to 32 games. This team was one of the big dogs when you started this Iowa Western program, Coach, and it only took until year 2 to replace them, to sweep them aside, I guess, so to speak. 6 straight wins over Iowa Central, actually 7 straight wins over Iowa Central, and you're looking to keep the Kinney Cup right here at home. Talk a little bit about the evolution of Reivers football from year one, number 1, when they first faced the 42-28 opening game loss, and right there you're like, okay, well maybe we can hang with the big dogs. We only lost by a pair of touchdowns. To the next year where it was a top 20 battle, and we were looking forward to a great game, and it was all Reivers, a 36-0 shutout at Fort Dodge in our first trip ever there. And you look at just the way things have just flipped how important is it? I know that you've been recruiting throughout the state of Iowa. How important is it to walk in with that IW on your chest or the Reivers logo and just say, hey, I'm Coach Strohmeier, and to have kids know what you've done over the past 6 seasons?
Well, I mean, I think where the program is now, I mean, it's made, like I said, Iowa Central was that team, and that first year, the first game, disappointing, but we were right there. We knew, and you know, from that point forward, I think is just the in-state recruiting's really been huge for us, and that's where they've won some games in the past, and I think we took that over. And once you do that, you know, you're in great shape, and it's always good, you know, now when we're walking in, and it takes time. You know, one of their things was 7 Hall of Fame high school coaches on their roster, you know, former high school coaches, and you know, now a lot of their guys are gone, you know, that they used to work with. Some of them are still around, but so we gradually, you know, would take a kid here and there, and they see what we're doing offensively and sending kids on, and defensively, you know, now it kind of takes care of itself.
Everything's a big process, and as you know, life is about relationships. Have you, you guys have gotten out there, have established those relationships all throughout the state? I know that you know, you've got a little bit of sleepy eye today, Coach, because you were out late last night. I know Coach Flaherty, Coach Blackburn, Coach Pike, and the rest of your staff have been out hunting new Reivers in those state high school playoff games. Well,
and I mean, we have to. I think, you know, it's when there's changeover in staff, sometimes that's where, you know, those, because you build those relationships years after year. And so, you know, I've taken a little bit more of a role from not just being in Southwest Iowa. I'm hitting the Des Moines area a little bit and spent, you know, we watched 2 games, Lewis Central and Ankeny, and then we watched Ankeny Centennial and Johnston last night. And I mean, we've got to get out there and see them. It was neat. You know, we're at the Ankeny game and we're walking down the sidelines, and the Ankeny Centennial crowds hollering at us, Iowa Western, we should be recruiting this person. I'm like, all they seen was an IW on the shirt. So that was good that they knew it was Iowa Western, I guess.
Well, good. It's a great turnaround, Coach, and good luck on Saturday against Iowa Central. It's time to wrap up another edition of the Coach Stroh Show. Remember, the big finale going down this week. It is Chili Cook-Off Saturday, a great tasting fundraiser for the IWCC culinary clubs. Here's how it works. A $5 donation gets you a sample of all the different varieties of chili that have been concocted by the different teams. You taste them, and then you cast your vote by getting a full bowl of your favorite. Trust me, it is well worth the $5. Save that appetite. Matt Johnson from Barley's and Brandon Juwan from Glory Days are also putting together another free tailgate open to anybody within sniffing distance of that cook-off. So they'll have some drinks and some other complimentary goodies to go along with that chili cook-off. And yes, again, the tailgate is free. Chili cook-off, a $5 donation. Come on out and enjoy. We'll have the pregame beginning on 89.7 The River at 1:30 as the Reivers battle Iowa Central for the Kinney Cup. We'll take up residence in Hoover Hall, or will it be polished in Fort Dodge next season? I guess we'll find out on sophomore day. 2:30 kickoff between the Tritons and the Reivers. Make sure you wear your camo gear as well as we salute our veterans with a small tribute on Saturday afternoon. Thanks again to head coach Scott Strohmeier and strong safety Stone Kane for taking the time to be on the show today, and for our IWTV student crew for putting it all together. Make sure you watch the highlights from the Reivers and your favorite Southwest Iowa teams throughout the playoffs and more every week on the Bluff Sports Zone with JJ Davis. This has been the Coach Stroh Show on CBTV 17. See you next week, and we'll talk with you on Chili Cook-Off Game Day. It's the battle for the Kinney Cup coming up on Saturday. Until then, wear your blue, be loud, and go Reivers.